10 Iranian missiles. Target a U.S. base. What happened next will shock you. These words flashed across global headlines one fateful night. But behind the news ticker was a story of chaos, courage, and a world teetering on the edge of all-out war. The story begins at Al Borj Air Base, a U.S. military outpost deep in the desert. It's 2:17 a.m. The base sleeps under a moonless sky. Sand drifts in the warm night breeze. Somewhere beyond the horizon, an ominous countdown begins. Inside the radar control tower, Private Ethan Cole rubs his eyes, sipping stale coffee. The base has been quiet for months. No alarms, no alerts. He chats lazily with Sergeant Maria Alvarez, who's logging flight schedules. Can't wait for my shift to end. Same desert, same stars. Nothing ever happens here. Alvarez smirking. Careful what you wish for. At 2:23 a.m., a shrill alarm cuts through the calm. Screens in the control room glow red. Radar tech. Incoming projectiles detected. Multiple bogies trajectory locked on us. How many? Radar tech. 10? At least 10 missiles. The room freezes for a second. Then, chaos. Sirens wail. Emergency lights bathe the base in flashing crimson. Over loudspeakers, a voice booms. Incoming strike. Impact in 4 minutes. Seek cover. Soldiers leap from their bunks. Mechanics scramble to move jets into reinforced shelters. Medics grab trauma kits. Officers shout coordinates and orders. Meanwhile, across the desert night sky, 10 missiles streak toward the base like fiery comets, each carrying enough explosives to level entire hangars. No one knew if these missiles were an official act of war or the work of a rogue faction. All they knew was survival. The first minute, scramble. Colonel David Mercer, base commander, storms into the ops room. Get the FAD system online. I want Patriot batteries locked and ready. Every second counts. Outside, automated defense turrets whir to life. Radar operators feed real-time data into the missile defense systems. The soldiers know the odds. 10 incoming warheads, 4 minutes to stop them. Alvarez on comms. Missiles closing fast. ETA 3 minutes. Interceptors launched? On the horizon, defensive missiles roar into the night. The base shakes as interceptors scream skyward. The second minute. Fear. Private Cole ducks into a bunker. His heart pounds. He texts his sister back home. If anything happens, I love you. Around him, soldiers pray quietly. Others grip rifles, even though they know a rifle won't stop a missile. The first interceptor meets an incoming missile at 40,000 feet. A blinding flash lights up the desert. 1 missile destroyed, 9 remain. Radar tech. We got one. 9 left. Don't celebrate yet. Keep firing. Another explosion in the sky, second missile down. But there are still 8, closing fast. The third minute, impact begins. 1 interceptor misses. A missile slams into the far edge of the base. The explosion rattles the earth. Fireballs rise into the night. Hangar 3 erupts in flames, destroying 2 jets inside. Shrapnel rains across the tarmac. Cole terrified. They're hitting us. Alvarez. Focus! We're still alive. Keep your head down. 2 more intercepts succeed, only 5 missiles remain. But they are seconds away. The 4th minute. The shock. A missile slams into the vehicle depot. Trucks ignite like matchsticks. Another strikes near the communications tower, cutting off part of the base's radar network. Chaos spreads. Medics rush to pull survivors from wreckage. The smell of burning fuel fills the air. Screams echo. 3 missiles remain, inbound. Patriot batteries fire their last interceptors. 2 missiles are taken out mid-air. 1 remains. The final missile streaks toward the barracks. Soldiers brace for impact. At the last second, a THAAD interceptor collides with it, detonating it in the sky. The shockwave knocks everyone off their feet, but the barracks are spared. The attack is over. In 4 minutes, 10 missiles changed everything. The US base was scarred but not destroyed. Lives were lost, but many more were saved thanks to lightning-fast defense and sheer luck. As dawn approaches, smoke rises from the desert. Fire crews battle blazes. Soldiers dig through rubble for survivors. The world awakens to shocking news. A US base has been attacked. But the real shock is yet to come. The night sky still glowed orange from burning fuel. The air smelled of smoke and metal. In just minutes, lives had changed forever. At first light, the destruction was clear. Hangar 3. Gone, reduced to a smoldering crater. Vehicle depot. Twisted steel frames. A graveyard of burnt trucks. Comms tower. Destroyed. Satellite backup now being used. Casualties. 17 soldiers killed, 43 wounded. Medics worked tirelessly. Private Cole, covered in soot, helped pull a trapped mechanic from under rubble. He'd been terrified minutes earlier, but now instinct took over. Hang in there, man. You'll see your kids again. We need evac choppers now. Colonel Mercer walked through the wreckage, his jaw set. His mind wasn't just on the fallen, it was on who launched this attack and what come next. Global shockwaves. News of the strike exploded worldwide. Breaking alerts lit up phones across the globe. 10 missiles strike US base. Mass casualties feared. Who is behind the attack? War on the horizon? In Washington, the president convened the National Security Council at 4:30 a.m. President, was this Iran's government or a rogue faction? Intel chief, satellite confirms launch origin inside Iranian territory, but no official claim. Defense Sec, Mr. President, the world is watching. We can't ignore this. In Tehran, officials denied involvement. We did not authorize any attack, their spokesman said. But leaked intel suggested a hardline militia faction, furious over US. The operations in the region had fired the missiles without formal government approval. This left the world on a knife's edge. Was this an act of war or a rogue strike? Soldiers' stories. Meanwhile, on the ground, the human toll became clearer. Corporal Jenna Wu recounted the moment of impact. I was asleep, woke up to a boom so loud I thought the world ended. My barracks shook, the roof caved in. If not for Sergeant Alvarez dragging me out, I wouldn't be here. Sergeant Alvarez herself carried burns on her arms from pulling people from flames. She shrugged off praise. We don't leave anyone behind, ever. Private Cole sat under a makeshift tent. He stared at his phone, the text to his sister still unsent. He pressed send now, whispering, I'm alive. Retaliation discussions. Back in the ops center, Mercer's staff buzzed with intel. Drones patrolled skies. F-35 jets stood ready for counterstrikes. If they hit us once, they can hit again. I want all defenses at 200%. Intel officer, sir, we traced the launch site mobile launchers 300 miles east. Get me clearance for a precision strike. We end this before more die. At 8 a.m., Washington gave the go. The retaliatory strike. Narrator. The world held its breath as the U.S. prepared to respond. 2 stealth bombers roared off an aircraft carrier in the Gulf. Coordinates locked. Target: a desert area suspected of housing the rogue launchers. As the bombers neared, satellites picked up enemy radar activity. But the mission proceeded. At 9:12 a.m., bombs dropped. Massive explosions lit up the desert. When the smoke cleared, intel confirmed the launchers destroyed, several militants neutralized. Unexpected twist, but then an unintended consequence. A nearby civilian village reported damage from the blast. International outrage erupted. Foreign leader. This cycle of violence must stop. Innocent lives are paying the price. Now, not just Iran, but global watchdogs and rival nations watched with alarm. Narrator. The missile attack was not just an isolated strike. It was the first domino. What followed threatened to ignite a larger fire. In the Pentagon, analysts pored over satellite footage. One analyst, Layla Adams, spotted something odd. Sir, the missile signatures don't match Iran's standard design. These are modified. Custom tech. Modified by who? We're still tracing, but there's chatter about an unknown third-party supplier. This revelation hinted the attack might be part of a deeper conspiracy. Who wanted the US and Iran at war? Meanwhile, media ran wild. Protests erupted globally, some blaming the US, some blaming Iran. Stock markets plunged, oil price, espionage subplot. CIA operatives uncovered a shocking twist. The missile parts had been smuggled through a black market arms ring tied to a rival superpower's intelligence agency. The attack may have been orchestrated to pit Iran and the US against each other. Colonel Mercer received the intel with disbelief. So, Iran may not have been fully behind it? CIA agent. Exactly. Someone wanted this to look like Iran's doing. This new truth posed a dilemma. Retaliate harder, risking war, or pursue the hidden hand behind the attack. Base recovery. Back on the base, life carried on amidst rubble. Soldiers rebuilt defenses. Engineers restored partial comms. Families of the fallen arrived to mourn. Private Cole helped Alvarez raise a tattered US flag over the damaged base, a symbol they weren't broken. Alvarez, we stand, that's what matters. Global showdown. At the UN, world leaders clashed. Some demanded sanctions, others peace talks. The president prepared to address the nation. President, we will defend our troops, but we will not be dragged into war by shadowy provocateurs. The speech calmed some tensions, but not all. Behind closed doors, military brass continued planning Operation Silent Dawn, a covert mission to hunt those responsible. The covert operation revealed the real mastermind. A billionaire arms dealer manipulating both Iran and US politics for profit. His private mercenaries supplied the missiles, aiming to trigger global chaos. A secret task force, including Alvarez and Cole, infiltrated his desert compound. Under moonlight, they raided his facility. Gunfire erupted. Explosions rocked the night. Alvarez was hit but survived. Cole faced the arms dealer directly. Dealer, sneering. You think you stopped a war? You just delayed it. Number. We stopped you. Cole triggered the signal. US drones obliterated the compound. The aftermath. With the arms dealer exposed and neutralized, tensions eased. Iran officially denied government involvement. Rogue militia members were arrested. At Al-Burj base, a memorial honored the fallen. The president visited. President, your sacrifice saved not just this base, but potentially millions worldwide. Cole looked at the sunrise over the desert, reflecting on that terrifying night. Cole voiceover, we thought the missiles were the end, but they were just the beginning. A wake-up call about how fragile peace really is. 10 missiles nearly dragged the world into chaos, but courage, truth, and sacrifice prevented a greater war. What happened next truly shocked the world, not destruction, but the resilience of the human spirit.